What's up top 10 fam, hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hassan and welcome back to another video. Now thankfully I've never received a scary text from a number I don't know, but in year 11 I used to take days off school for like no reason, so my friend texted me from an unknown number posing as the Board of Education, basically saying my attendance was too low and I'd have to repeat the year, and I had a little heart attack, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. But guys, before we get into it, we are currently hosting a giveaway on the channel. The prize is $100 and a signed most amazing hoodie, and all you have to do is go like our Facebook page and like and comment on the latest exclusive video for a chance to win. But without further ado, these are the top 10 scary texts from unknown numbers, and do stick around to the end of the video for some bloopers. Starting us off with number 10 is basketball practice. So a few weeks ago, Cincinnati-based Amanda Jones alerted the police when her 12-year-old daughter started receiving suspicious texts. On a Monday, her daughter got a text which read, "Hey, your mom told me to get you from practice at North College Hill tomorrow. I'll be outside in a white van behind the red car. I'll be there at 5:30, baby." As soon as she got the text, she ran downstairs and asked her mum why she was gonna get someone else to pick her up, and Amanda was like, "I'm not, why would I do that?" When she read the text, she was stunned. Neither of them knew the number it came from, but the scariest part was the fact that the stranger, who didn't even know them, knew what school this girl went to, knew what time she'd get out from basketball. Like, who would even know that other than a close friend or a very invested stalker? They ended up taking it to the police and the principal, which I think was the right move, because stalking can very quickly turn into kidnapping or killing. And that was so specific, like the white van behind the red car. Like, first of all, no kid with one brain cell is gonna walk into a van. We all know vans have creeps in them, let's be real. That's the first thing you learn when you come out of the womb. Don't go to a man in a van. Coming in at number 9 is the silhouette. Now if I was the person in this scenario, I would legit have just cried. Shared by Reddit user James Short, he said he once got a text from a random number saying, "How's your show?" And of course he was watching TV at the time, but he just deleted it and moved on. It wasn't a big deal. 10 minutes later, James got another text saying, "Please don't ignore me. Ignoring me makes me very angry." Now he started getting creeped out, and that's when he received the last text, which was, "I'll always be watching. Look outside." James looks outside and sees a light turn on in the upstairs window of the house opposite him, and he just sees this tall silhouette of someone just waving at him. James, being the smart boy he is, called the police on his ass, and turns out the guy wasn't even living in the house at all. He filed a restraining order against him and thankfully never saw him again. It was a happily ever after indeed. At number 8 we have the threat. Now this one was anonymously shared on Thought Catalog, and they literally only shared what the text said. And the text said, "My death will be on your hands, maybe I'll take you with me." What an ominous text to receive. Like, is that a joke? Is that real? Am I indirectly responsible for someone's death? Am I about to die with them? Like, I would literally hire a bodyguard if I got that text. Gotta watch your back, you know what I mean? You don't know who could be lurking around the corner ready to take you down. Ready to take you down. Filling our number 7 slot is the Necrophiliac. Now this one was shared by a now deleted Reddit user who said they once received this text: "I cannot wait to make love to your rotting beautiful corpse." They had no idea who sent it, whether it was actually for her or not, or whether it was just a really bad prank. Either way, which creepy necrophiliac is out there sending texts like that thinking it's okay? Like, no honey, no, it's not okay. I know I say we never kink shame at top 10. Is that a kink? That can't be a kink. I can't accept necrophilia as a kink, I'm sorry. It's just creepy and you need to stop. Now at number 6 is the chill morning. This one's short and sweet, and it was shared by real Krista Nana, who was around 16 or 17 when this happened. She was on the bus on the way home from school and she was in her sports uniform, just for some context. Now the user then randomly gets a text from an unknown number saying, "Are you not cold in those thin clothes?" Freaking out, she started looking around the bus to see if one of her friends was pranking her, and then she got another text saying, "Stop looking, you're not gonna find me." I feel like with this one it was one of her friends who did send the text message. I feel like it's not ominous enough to be a proper stalker, or maybe I'm just, well, I've never had a stalker, thankfully, fingers crossed. I really don't know how it works. Coming in at number 5 is Jane. This one happened in Pittsburgh back in 2013. A woman contacted Channel 11 after she started getting suspicious text messages. She said she was receiving several messages from a bunch of unknown numbers, all containing very personal details about her. They would address her by her full name, ask whether she was still single or not, how her house was keeping keeping up with the address included and everything. After doing some digging, she found out that the numbers had been texting people not just in Pittsburgh, but in Indiana, Texas, and Illinois as well. So what do we have here? Like a cross-country stalker on our hands? Is that what we have? Is that the deal? No deal. No comprendo. Adios, amigo. I'm bilingual. What can I say? Self-plug. At number 4 is the better option. This one comes from Maya3024 on Reddit, who said he once got a really long text message from an unknown number. The text was this other person arguing about how Maya shouldn't be sleeping with truck drivers for cheap money when he could easily hook up with him and his rich friends for a lot more money. The user then replied saying they were a guy and that the person probably had the wrong number, and then they replied with this exact name as well as his university dorm address, including the room number and all. They blocked the number instantly and were sure that it wasn't a prank since they were an international student themselves, so he didn't really have friends for them to be even doing that to him. I mean, at least when you're a loner you can't have friends that prank you. I get that. I feel that. But also, are you hooking up with these truck drivers for cheap money? Because don't sell yourself short, honey. You're worth more than that. Filling at number 3 slot is the period. This one was shared by an anonymous person who said she received a text where some random guy was asking her whether she was ovulating. They claimed they had been around her recently and could smell it, and smelled the fact that she was ovulating, very fertile, and that in and of itself triggered his male senses. Creepiest part, she was actually on her period. How does a guy's male senses tingle if he's near a girl on her period? Someone please explain the science behind that to me. I feel like something doesn't add up. Make it make sense to me. And that meme right now of that woman with the calculations like... Now at number 2 is the joke. This one's from Redditor Breasts of Men, and they shared that they once received a text that said, "Look, I thought I could do it. I can't. It's been 6 months since it happened and nobody even cares anymore. He's just a kid. I do not want to be any further involved. Ask someone else." WTF. What on earth do you not want to be further involved in, bruh? What's going on? Then they got another text 30 seconds later that said, "Oh sorry, that was just a mistake. I meant to send that to my brother. We're just messing around." And that's the biggest load of bull if I ever heard it. Like, that's exactly what you say when you tell your crush you like them and after they don't respond you just tell them it was your friend who messaged, or like, haha, JK. Like, nah, who are you fooling? It wasn't a JK from any angle. I'm onto you. And finally, at number 1 is Chris with a Y. I didn't know you could spell Chris with a Y, but apparently you can. This one was shared by Kirsten Pyle, who said that last year she got a text from a random number that she chose to ignore. A month later, she got another text that said, "Sailor said that he wants to leave. I don't know if I should let him. He's been very annoying lately and has been bad." Confused, she replied saying, "I think you have the wrong number," to which they replied, "Is this not Chris?" And that shocked her even more because only 1 or 2 people had ever called her that in her life. She asked Chris who, and the person replied Chris Piles. Not Pile, but Piles. And no one knew that was her actual last name. Everyone thought it was Pile, but it actually was Piles. When asked who it was, the person replied saying Chris Wollaston, and Kirsten had never heard that name before, and that is spelt with a Y. Chrys. For anyone wondering. She decided to do some digging on Phone Finder and found a number linked to the name and called it. The woman answered and asked who it was, and Kirsten explained the text and Chris Wollaston, and the woman replied saying that that was her 16-year-old son. He had died in a car accident 4 years prior, and the accident had killed his little brother Sailor as well. If that wasn't weird enough already, turns out the text she received were the last text he had sent before the accident, and it was because of those texts that he got distracted and the car crashed. And turns out his best friend was this girl's cousin. And that's, I don't know what relevance that has, but it was in their Reddit thread. And that's it for today's video, guys. Funnily enough, everyone's been complaining at the office recently because we've all been getting a lot more spam calls than usual, and we're like, what's happening? I feel like spam calls are a lot easier because you can just reject that shit, you know what I mean? Texts are like, ooh, you can text me again. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought in the comments below, and as always, I'm your host Ayman Hassan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye! Now he started getting creeped out, and that's when he received the last text, which was, Now he started getting creeped out, and that's when he received the last text. Sorry, it went back too quickly. This one's short and sweet, and it was shared by Real Christiana. Really? You have to be called that. A woman contacted Channel 11 after she started. Why am I rapping? I'm going so fast, like it's not that deep. It's not that deep.